Charlie Kirk thing kind of put the nail in the coffin of me being a Democrat. I was slowly moving away from it anyway because I was noticing certain things, but I'm not a Democrat, and I'm not a Republican either, but I'm not a Democrat. And I just noticed, like, certain things, like the way that the conversation would be shut down by calling somebody a name or calling somebody a bigot. It's like, okay, and why am I a bigot just because I disagree with you? Like, I can disagree with you and still not want anything bad for you. I just disagree. And it's like, oh, you're personally committing violence against me if you disagree. It's like, that's a cop-out. And I would notice certain things like that. I would notice that I was being intentionally angered every 4 years so that I would go out and vote. It would be a new token thing to like get behind. Oh, if you don't vote this year, this thing is going to happen and everything's going to be taken away. But then the next year, none of those things would happen. So I was just being gaslit every single time. And it's crazy because like I didn't recognize it. But, as I started to just see it, I started to see how like it's one thing to believe in something, it's another thing to tell somebody they're bad if they don't, especially if the view is wacky, crazy, and all the way out there. Canceling somebody for something that they did when they was 8 years old, for something that they said when they was 8 years old, and that thing won't even a slur back then. It's like, what are we like do? Like, people can't grow. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, it's a way to keep people in control. And if you don't think exactly how I think, if you ever step in line, I can just like, take away. You know what I'm trying to say? And it was just very controlling, but just very evil. And like the moral superiority, the moral high horse, and the performative activism was crazy. Like, oh, we are so oppressed, and go, like, ride the Starbucks. It's like there's actually people that are in different countries, and like that's very disrespectful to them to say that you're oppressed like that. Like, I would debate people down. And here's the thing, I had to come to realization that like I would go online to see what I should feel about a subject instead of actually saying what I did feel about the subject, to see what they were saying, and I would hop on it. And I had to be honest, I was hopping on bandwagons. And yes, it was when I was younger, but as I just grew older, I'm like, this not it. And finally, when it comes to the death of somebody, it's like, it doesn't matter who they are. It doesn't matter what they think. Nobody deserves that. I can see if you just heard about it, but you saw it on camera and you still saying you ain't sad about it. That's like, your humanity is now lost. Like, politics is making like some of them crazy. And that's why I was just like, oh, y'all are drinking Kool-Aid right now, and I'm not gonna drink that. Like, I'm gonna just walk off. And that's one of the reasons why. And it's the nail in the coffin, because if you are so politicked out that you cannot cry when somebody unalive, you're not as moral as you think you are. Sorry.
When liberals couldn't define what a woman is, they 100% lost me. Now, from my experience, the people on the right will dislike your opinion, but the people on the left will literally hate you for your opinion. There's a difference. And finally, people are waking up.
If the roles had been reversed, we would have had Antifa 2.0. Cities would be on fire. They burned down my street 4 years, 5 years ago. They would have done that. And they're the ones accusing conservatives of hate. They're the ones whose words have turned into bullets. They're the ones why a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old no longer have their daddy. How do you explain that to a child? That their father is no longer going to come home because somebody happened to disagree with what he was saying. It's just completely incomprehensible to me. And conservatives from around the world, and it's not just the United States, we see in the United Kingdom as well, across Europe, across the globe, people are coming together in prayer, not pitchforks. And that is a fundamental difference between the left and conservatives.
The media outlets and social media has been lying to you about Charlie Kirk, saying he's a bad person. But I want to show you guys what type of person Charlie Kirk is. Have a look at this.
It's time to call him what he really was. Because of what he died doing, Charlie Kirk is a civil rights icon. Charlie Kirk was a civil rights leader that was martyred standing up for civil rights. And it is time that our side declares that and stands on that and claims that territory. These so-called civil rights leaders that have been around for the last 30 years are jokes. They're money hustlers, they're dividers, and they have nothing to do with civil rights. Martin Luther King was a civil rights leader. Martin Luther King was that man. RFK Jr. could even be called a civil rights leader. JFK could be called a civil rights leader. They led the way. Everyone else was just playing it for cash and for power, and I'm sick of it. Charlie Kirk died standing up and trying to show people how to exercise your civil right in a civilized manner. And they gunned him down because of it. It's time to start calling him Charlie Kirk, the civil rights leader.
Charlie Kirk single-handedly saved an entire generation from being brainwashed by encouraging college students to think for themselves. As a matter of fact, we all owe Charlie Kirk a thank you. And yet, this is how the left is thanking him.
Anybody who is a white supremacist gets sniped. I hope all of them get sniped. I hope more of them get sniped. I hope they come and burn their homes down to the ground. Like, honestly, it could have been worse. It should have been worse. Why not just wipe out the whole bloodline? Wipe it out. Remove them. Remove them from play. Because people are really, like, upset that we don't feel empathy. I'm following in his footsteps. He told us not to feel empathy and that it wasn't wrong and all this, and that, and this, that, and third. I agree with him. I don't have empathy. He's right. Empathy makes you weak. And I definitely do not have empathy for my political enemies and people who go against my human rights. It's that simple. You wanted to play stupid games. You won the stupid prize. Eternal nap. Good luck next time.
The left is a party full of hatred and violence. Leftist ideologies are extremely dangerous, and now people are finally waking up and leaving the Democratic Party. Just have a look.
I've been dreading making this video because I know I'm gonna get hate comments, especially from the left, and nobody likes hate comments online. I used to proudly call myself a liberal. I still believe in equality, healthcare access, LGBTQ+ rights, definitely science and social programs. But I've grown really tired of the performance, the fear-mongering, and the refusal to have real conversations. I don't want to be here to scream or cancel or shame somebody into agreeing with me. I believe that we need to listen to each other even when we disagree, because change doesn't happen in an echo chamber. I'm not switching sides. I'd say I'm stepping out of the label. I'm an independent, logic-based thinker who's done letting political parties define my humanity. I'm still progressive, but I care more about the truth than tribalism. You can fight for justice without losing your critical thinking. If you want to argue, go talk to somebody else. But if you're ready to listen, then I'm all ears. Not everything needs to be red versus blue. Like, for example, here's some things that I know we can agree on. Our healthcare is broken. You shouldn't go bankrupt just because you got sick in red or blue states. Big corporations, for example, have too much power. They lobby both parties, and working people end up paying the price. Veterans and the elderly deserve better care, period. No excuses. Mental health matters. It's not woke to want trauma support, for example, especially for kids and veterans. The middle class is being squeezed by inflation, housing costs, and endless debt, which is just not sustainable. We need civil liberties. Your right to speak, worship, protest, own property, and make personal choices. I think another thing that we could agree on is that we both need to protect democracy, which means fair elections, checks and balances, and yes, accountability for every party. And this is the one that's gonna piss you liberals and you Democrats and anybody on the left off. Nobody should be hated for how they voted. Basically, what I mean by that is no one should be sliced for asking questions. I'm not here to hate conservatives. I'm definitely not fucking here to blindly follow liberals. I'm here because I want to bridge the gap and speak truth and hopefully make this country less divided and a hell of a lot smarter. And if that makes me hard to categorize, then good. I just don't want to associate myself with a party that is screaming into the void. I don't want to associate myself with a party who doesn't understand that productive conversations mean something. If you guys really wanted change, you wouldn't be sitting here calling every fucking conservative uneducated idiots. Conservatives are capable of having conversations, and for everybody on the left to accuse them of just being incapable of that, you're not making any changes. You're not going to have productive conversations. All you're going to do is push people more to not understanding your points. If you're trying to come at somebody with something that you know is a fact, don't insult them about it. You say it's hard to have conversations with conservatives, but it's the way that you approach them. And it's associated with the left now. The left is just like these angry fucking people who can't have conversations as far as the conservatives are concerned. I'm not switching parties, but I sure as fuck don't want to be associated with the left anymore. I want to be able to make real change and have real conversations, and I'm not going to get that done by calling myself a liberal.
It's extremely unfortunate that Charlie Kirk is no longer with us today, but his legacy continues to live on forever because Charlie Kirk's influence has spread worldwide. And little does the left know, they just created millions more of Charlie Kirk because have a look under the comment section. This makes me so happy that people are finally waking up and leaving the left.
So I'm very aware that when you look at me, you see the hair and the nose ring, you probably think I'm a huge liberal. I love living in America. I love this country. I am a die-hard centrist. I have a lot of liberal views and I have a lot of conservative views, but most of the time I'm able to see the gray in areas and come to a critically thought out conclusion about the right and wrong. The amount of people I've had to unfriend or unfollow because they're cheering and happy about what happened today is very disheartening. And if you're following me on here and you're upset that I'm not cheering and woohoo, please unfollow me. I'm sorry if you followed me because of the way I looked. We live in a country where I can look the way I want to look and I can have the opinions I want to have and say the things I want to have because of where we live. And this is an attack on freedom of speech, no matter how you look at it, whether you like Charlie, you didn't like Charlie.
I'm not going to vote Democrat anymore. I did leave the left because I was getting sick and tired of their behavior. But I was considering myself to be in the center. No. Whoever did this just fucked up. And I'm seeing a lot of people who were on the left say that they're no longer going to be on the left anymore. I still have my same beliefs. I still support the communities that I support, and I will still vote for people who align with those beliefs. But
so breaking fucking news, Charlie Kirk got shot in the fucking neck. That was the last bastion. I can't be a liberal no fucking more. You see the fucking comments? I hope the gun is okay. The same fucking people asking for moral decency. I cannot in good faith align myself with you guys anymore. I once had a headache. You'll be alright. Cause you don't agree with him politically?
I'm not gonna lie, y'all gotta be a different type of sick to be celebrating Charlie Kirk's death, bro. That's crazy to me. Like, you don't gotta agree with anything bro say. I made a video about not agreeing with what he said on Juneteenth. That don't mean I think he deserved to lose his life though. Every page that's posting Charlie Kirk's death.
Finally, some common sense. This actually gives me hope for the future. Now, one of the biggest myths in society is that it is the people on the left who are the open-minded, tolerant ones. At this point, if you vote Democrat, you are just a person who thinks 2 + 2 is potatoes.
I'm so mad right now. I was just sitting down to do my makeup and I get the news about Charlie Kirk. What the actual fuck? Liberals, this is your party. This is your party. This is your party. This is what you do. This is what you do. Jasmine Crockett, AOC, what are you doing? Chuck Schumer, like, what are you doing about this right now? Yous are the party. Yous are the Democrat Party. Mandami, what are you doing? Are you doing anything about this right now? No, of course you aren't.
Registered Democrat, all I have to say is the Charlie Kirk shooting just proves that we are the worst, man. My party is the fucking worst. I got people celebrating, hoping that he dies. Are we fucking for real right now? Where's the empathy? Where's the respect, man? It's disgusting. It's disgusting, truly. And the fact of the matter is this: he was a father, and whether or not I agree with his political opinions, all he truly wanted to do at the core was see this country be the best. And I can fucking respect that. And to see people just be blatantly disgusting, man, we're the worst, man. We're horrible.
The Democratic Party gained no new followers today, but lost plenty. And I can respect the hell out of this dude for calling it out as it is, because the radical liberals are ruining this country.
You're very active on social media. You can be very inflammatory on social media. I mean, some of the tweets you've done since Charlie Kirk's death: the left are evil, murdering scum who kill people or let others kill people. They must be held accountable. They're not the good guys. The compassionate, nice guys want you dead, and they'll do it or encourage us to do it. I get 1,000 death threats a day from these people. We are at war. Civil war was another one. You know, some people will say, all right, Andrew Tate, you are part of the problem. You are yourself spewing pretty toxic stuff out to millions of people, whipping up rather than calming down the problem. What do you say to that?
Well, if you have a point of view, somebody can be radicalized by it, right? If you have any point of view on the planet, somebody can be radicalized by it. And social media, like all things, is a fantastic tool that can do amazing things. But if it's used the wrong way, it can also do very destructive things. I don't think the answer is to start telling people to not talk. I think the answer is more discussion, more debate. Because if you remove debate, the only answer is violence. So I think that it's also my tweets, which you just highlighted, the fact that I do receive death threats. Somebody did try to kill me only a few weeks ago. And then a friend of mine, a guy who I respected, was blasted and I had to watch him bleed out. I think it's pretty fair that to say that, of course, my tweets are going to be emotionally charged. We can't get into an area where we say that we can't talk anymore, because that's only going to lead to more violence. We have to be able to speak to each other. And I think that you would agree, perhaps I'm wrong, that it's the left which seem to be the ones who are so obsessed with assassination. It seems to be the left which are more violent. Antifa and their riots trying to assassinate President Trump. An attempt was made on my life. An attempt was made on Nick Fuentes' life. They just killed Charlie Kirk. For us to sit here and pretend that this violence isn't going one way is disingenuous.
I certainly don't think it only goes one way. I certainly think it can go the way of any extremist, that the far right has its own problem with extremists. There have been lots of left-wing politicians and public figures who've been targeted. So I think it's a problem that goes both ways. But I have said for quite a while that the woke mind virus, as Elon Musk calls it, that ideology is extremely dangerous.
Andrew Tate has the look of how most Americans feel right now. And it is anger and heartache. Because if it can happen to Charlie Kirk, it can happen to any of us.
I've been sitting in my car for the last hour or so, just trying to process the last couple of days. And forgive me if I don't have the energy. It has been really troubling. I just came here to announce my official divorce from the Democratic Party. And you're talking to a guy who's been voted Democrat since I was 18 years old. Up until recently, I've been changing how I vote, but still carrying the label, you know. I'm the type of guy who doesn't jump ship. I try to be the voice of reason within the ship to try to steer it back to a true north. But this party has lost its way. The Democratic Party, let's be honest, has become demonic and barbaric. And I, as a Christian, can't be a part of that anymore. Look, I'm a proud and beautiful black man. I love being black. I love my skin, everything that comes with it. I was a proud Democrat. I remember they used to stand for the right thing. But before I'm beautifully black, before I am a member of any party, I'm a born-again Christian. I'm a born-again Christian, and the Democratic Party right now doesn't represent my values, my ethics.
I'm a black man born in America. I know what problems that exist in this country. But I also know there's far more good people than there are bad people in this country, regardless of who you are, what your ethnic background is. White, black, Hispanic, and beyond. I'm in a studio here in Las Vegas, and I'm looking outside, and I see people looking at me and smiling and saying, "What's up, Steven?" They don't look anything like me. And I don't care, because they're showing me love, and I'm showing love right back to them. At some point in time, we got to recognize, can't just speak about it. Can't just give lip service to when such a vile act takes place. And we're going to give lip service to the tragedy of the moment, and then within 24 hours, we move on with our lives like nothing happened. Something did happen. I don't care what his political beliefs were. I don't care what he felt. I care about the fact that a man was gunned down in front of two of his children who are 5 years of age or less. That he's dead at the age of 31. That his wife is a widow. That his children are fatherless. Because his ideas and his beliefs differed from somebody else, apparently. And then I'm going online and I'm seeing people celebrating it. Shame. Shame on you.
It's crazy to me that they killed the only person that wanted to talk to them. Just absolute lunatics. And the problem with lunatics is that they never think that they are. Now, ladies and gentlemen, on that note, that's it for today's video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe.